rights. Boy, everyone in this country's always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right, you have no right, we have a right, they don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the boogeyman. The Three Little Pigs, Pinocchio, Mother Goose, shit like that. Rights are an idea. They're just imaginary. They're a cute idea, cute, but that's all, cute and fictional.
Well, it's a bill that has received very little attention, but may make free speech a felony and seriously restrict your right to political protest. Just signed into law by the president, H.R. 347 gives federal agents sweeping powers to arrest and bring felony charges against citizens engaged in protests where the Secret Service is present. Joining us now with more, Fox News senior judicial analyst, good friend, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, the thing that jumps out off the page, felony?
Yeah, felony means more than a year in jail. This is not like a traffic ticket. For standing and protesting, the type of thing that for 230 years Americans took for granted because it was protected by the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech, has actually been abridged by legislation the president signed last Thursday, supported overwhelmingly by both parties, with very, very little public debate and very little debate in Congress. Basically allows Secret Service agents to decide where there are no free speech zones, not speech zones, no free speech zones. And anybody by the Secret Service can, protected by the Secret Service, can ask those agents to ban protests wherever they are. So I can think of 3 violations: speech violations, association violations, the right to petition the government for a redress of your grievances. What good is free speech if the people in the government are so far away from you that they can't hear you?
Judge, what about keeping our elected officials safe?
Keeping our elected officials safe is entirely different from insulating them from protest. The fact that the president is going to a hotel up the block should not bar you from standing across the street with a sign or with a bullhorn saying what you think about the president's policies. That is not a threat to him, and it is a part of American history since day one that we have the right to speak freely to, about, and against those in the government.
Judge, do you think this is going to be one of those laws that is on the books but not enforced?
I think it's one of those laws that's going to be enforced when the government wants it enforced. The problem, Eric, is it puts a lot of unbridled discretion in the hands of Secret Service agents who may very well say, you know what, boss, you've had a rough day. We'll keep everybody away from you. Or, you know what, boss, this crowd likes you, so we're going to let them, we're going to let you hear them. That's suppressing speech on the basis of its content, and that has been expressly prohibited by the First Amendment since day one.
What dictates the Secret Service is present? In other words, aren't they present all over Washington, D.C.?
Well, they are, and that's a great question, because this law also allows the president to give Secret Service protection to whoever he wants. I'll give you a bizarre example. His campaign managers are coming to Washington to confer with him about the campaign. He can give them Secret Service protection. And then the Secret Service can say to the kids in the streets, you can't shout at David Axelrod, because the campaign manager, because the Secret Service is protecting him. This is a slow, creeping destruction of some of our basic liberties, and the president signed it in secret.
And now some of the Secret Service are going to be providing services for the candidates now as well.
Correct.
Right? So
correct.
People aren't going to be able to have their opinion about the candidates?
If the Secret Service so declares, you won't be able to shout at them.
Judge, got to go.
My understanding is the Vice President's going to provide a range of steps that we can take to reduce gun violence. Some of them will require legislation. Some of them I can accomplish through executive action.
Hang tight, man. I'm calling somebody.
You're okay, baby. Huh? Yeah, but my phone's gonna run out of room.
Yeah, it's illegal to do that. You
can't touch my daughter unless I can record it. Well, you understand what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying we've had a lot of people that we're not saying we're gonna touch her. I'm asking the supervisor first, but it is against the law for you to record it. So I'm saying to record me. Okay. See, somebody come over here because
it's okay, baby. You can get Lammy in a minute, okay, baby? You can get Lammy in just a minute. The problem is I don't allow anyone to touch my little daughter without being able to record it. If that's, that's fine. It just seems ominous for you guys to suggest that you have to do this in the dark of night. I mean, that in and of itself seems very inappropriate.
All right, give us a minute. My colleague
Sure.
is calling on this, and we'll get back. And she didn't come through with that plan.
we just brought over the side. I'm just waiting for a supervisor first before I do anything. That's why I called you.
Can't she have her little baby? You guys X-rayed it.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and go back to her.
Here's Lammy. There's Lammy. Here, baby, look.
Confidential Justice Department memo obtained by NBC News reveals that the U.S. government can order the killing of any American citizen believed to be associated with al-Qaeda.
So Fox News senior judicial analyst Andrew Napolitano is here. Going to hear a lot of talk about this with the CIA confirmation hearings beginning for the new director-to-be, John Brennan, if he's confirmed. So your take on what we've been hearing about drones and the legality of them.
Well, federal judges and ordinary citizens have been seeking the legal research on which the government has relied for its claimed authority that the president can kill Americans overseas if he believes that they are in imminent danger of harming the United States national security. And the government has resisted this in every forum, and in most forums it has succeeded in persuading federal judges this information can't be revealed because it'll violate national security secrets. Suddenly it shows up in an NBC newsroom earlier this week. It could only have come from a governmental source. So they really have made fools of the federal judges who've spent hours and days and weeks struggling over the laws involved here. The document itself is breathtaking and chilling in the cavalier way in which it suggests that the president, actually it doesn't even say the president, guys. It says any informed high-level U.S. government official can strip an American of his or her constitutional protections and order the killing of that American if the person is overseas, if it's difficult to arrest that person,
and that's not
if it's likely they're going to harm national security.
Not defined, right, who that official would be?
No, it's not defined. Imminent is not defined. Danger is not defined.
Right.
This is the power claimed by kings and tyrants. This is about as un-American a power as one could imagine. This is in direct defiance of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, which guarantees due process, a jury trial, before the government can take your life or liberty. This is in defiance of federal law, of state laws, and of treaties to which the United States is a party.
How does this move in the court system, you think?
Well,
how is it fought?
That's a very interesting question, Dagan. All this came about when the president dispatched drones to kill New Mexico-born, admitted al-Qaeda-affiliated Anwar al-Awlaki, New Mexico-born, an American citizen. And he sent a follow-up drone to kill Mr. Awlaki's 16-year-old Colorado-born American citizen son, and the friend's American citizen 16-year, and the son's American 16-year-old friend. Their grandfather filed a lawsuit to enjoin the president from killing them before the drones were sent. And a federal judge said, well, there's no standing here. How do I know what the president's going to do? You can't stop the president from breaking the law in the future because the Justice Department claims the president always obeys the law. Now that lawsuit has been revived because we now know that the president admits that he did send the drones to kill them. So in the context of a lawsuit, a federal, by survivors, a federal judge, to get to the answer to your question, may decide whether or not the government can do this. Now, I submit the Supreme Court has already decided it, because the Supreme Court basically told the Bush administration in 5 or 6 Supreme Court opinions, the most notable of which is Hamdi, saying you just can't take a person and try them before some cockamamie court. It's got to be a court authorized by the Constitution. And the Supreme Court said the sort of trust us argument that the government says doesn't wash because the Constitution won't let it wash.
You're going to go today, but this reunion, as I said at the outset, much more on this the next few days. Judge, thanks.
Absolutely. Pleasure, guys.
Right this way.
Yes, we can.